One question that comes up often is if the Presstimator is able to handle multiple paper stocks within a single section or signature. For example, let's say you have a 30-pound newsprint product that you want to wrap with a 50-pound white offset. And how does the Presstimator handle that? And so I'm going to walk you through that right now and how to set that up. And it's very simple. So let's just create a new quote, and I'll just show you that way. If I give this a name so I can continue on, the first tab is the specs tab, where you're going to enter some job information. I'm just going to enter some basic information here. Let's say it's just 20,000 copies, and let's call it a 12-page tab, and let's say that the web width is 34 inches. Now, right now, just based on your defaults, I can actually calculate this quote and get a quote for based on your defaults. But as I mentioned, we want to split the paper stock into two different types. So, based on the categories here, I'm just going to go to the next specs tab, which is paper, and you'll see that based off of the defaults that you have in shop settings, we have that 30-pound white newsprint is the default stock that you have set up when creating a new quote. And in this case, we want to split it. So in this example, in this entry in the grid, we want to change in 12 pages of this paper stock to just be 8. So we're going to have an 8-page of 30-pound white newsprint, and I'm going to click the apply button to save those changes from the entry area down into the grid. Now what I need to do is I need to account for the additional 4 pages of the 50-pound wrap that I want to enter. And I can do that either by clicking on the new button or clicking the copy button to create a new entry down in the grid. Let me just click the copy button because it's just faster. And now I've got the new entry here, but it still has that 30-pound white newsprint in it, and I want to modify that. So in this case, I'm just going to go up into the entry area. It's still in section 1. Instead of newsprint, I'm going to select that I want it to be of type offset. I still want the paper to be white, but instead of the basis weight being 30-pound, I'm going to change it to be 50-pound. And since this is just the wrap, instead of it being 8 pages, I am going to say that this is just 4 pages. I'm going to click the apply button to save these entry area fields down into the grid here. And you'll notice that when I click on the apply button, there's a warning message. And what the warning message is saying is that this 4 pages, because it's a tab, appears to be a half web. So to make sure that the web width that you enter for this entry is the actual web width, not the full web width. So in that case, I'm going to change our 34 to indicate that it's a half web by saying that it's 17 and clicking the apply button. I'm going to get the same message just to make sure that it's correct. I'm going to click the OK. At this point, you'll see we have our 50-pound wrap as our cover, and it's a half web, and you can see that the remainder stock is 8 pages of 30-pound white newsprint. You also notice that originally, when this was all 12 pages of 30-pound white newsprint, that the Presstimator would have calculated automatically that there was a half web involved. But the fact that you manually split it into another stock, the Presstimator needs to know which one is the half web. So that's it. That's all you need to do to split a single section into multiple paper stocks. And I'll show you if we just go to the paper tab now, the main paper tab where we're going to calculate that. We'll show you that we brought over those paper specs. Again, here is your 8 pages of 30-pound white newsprint, and here is your 50-pound white offset. And I can select the paper here and enter information, or I can just say use my defaults from shop settings. In this case, I'm just going to say use my defaults and use my default settings that I have established in shop settings and click the apply button. And you'll see that it automatically selected the paper that I chose, because in shop settings I selected a default 50-pound white offset and a default 30-pound white newsprint that it will always be used when I select those paper types. It automatically brought in some basic waste numbers and automatically did the calculations for me. You can see this is for the 30-pound white newsprint, and if I click on this one, you can see that the entry here is for the 50-pound white offset. And that's it. That's all you have to do in order to split a section into multiple paper stocks.